Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr., Lady, all the other nonsense and jazz. This is Kinetic Aesthetic. I'm Germ, and I, of course, am so happy that you all tuned in. Now, normally on this show, I like to do media reviews. I like to do current topics. And I like to just do little stuff about what I'm going through personally or my own personal thoughts on just life at that current moment. And that is one of these episodes. I don't want to get y'all alarmed or confused. However, I've been doing a lot of thinking and I've been trying to figure out how it is that I feel like I don't ever have real content to really talk about anymore. I think the big part of that is I'm not talking about the shit that I want to talk about enough. And you know what? I'm starting to think that I'm going to just have to, find a way to diversify my content, maybe my channels. I'm thinking of adding another show. And when I say that, what I mean is it's all going to be under the same brand, under the same banner. However, I'm starting to realize, you know what? I'm someone that wants to talk about something, but I don't know how to sort of centralize it. So I might just have to have multiple different avenues to talk about shit. Now, for instance, I am a huge anime/manga nerd, fan, geek, whatever you want to call it. I am that. I am him. And I'm starting to think that, you know what, I would really love to be talking about current mangas that are just going on. Like if something dope happens in one of them, I want to be able to make a video about it. I want to be able to make some type of episode, whether it be just an audio episode, whether it be a video episode. I just want to be able to do something about that. I want to be able to talk about it and I want to be able to share it. So I am going to be probably starting up in the next week or two a anime/manga channel that I'm going to use. I'm going to focus on just those types of conversations. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I don't have a name down yet. I don't have any of that really sort of taken care of, but I can tell you right now, it will be happening. I am probably going to mainly talk about One Piece on that. If you don't know about One Piece, you probably should go and figure that shit out. It's over a 25-year-long story, and I can't wait to just go over all of it. I'm going to be doing recaps to start off on all the different arcs, and I'm going to be just talking about what's going on currently. But yes, enough about that. Let's talk about this specific episode. And on this one, it's another one of those, like I said earlier, episodes where I don't really have too much to specifically talk about. I just wanted to give you all an idea on where my head is at. And I'm going to leave you all with some food for thought, because that's what we call this one, food for thought. But without further ado, I just wanted to make sure I told you all about my plans when it comes to the anime and the manga shit. It is happening. Like I said, no name yet, nothing concrete, nothing set in stone, but be on the lookout. All right, everybody, let's talk about Andrew Tate. If you don't know who Andrew Tate is, I understand. That makes sense. I didn't expect a lot of my listeners to know who the hell he is. I honestly did not know who he was until yesterday. But apparently he is some type of IG influencer, men's rights activist, whatever the fuck they call themselves. He's a misogynist. He basically has made an entire career out of basically saying horrible shit about women and how men need to just, I don't know what the fuck they're trying to sell. I don't listen to these types of guys. I'll be honest, once I saw certain little just tidbits and the little clips of things he had said, I didn't want to hear anymore. So I'm not going to go into too much depth on him. This episode is not about Andrew Tate necessarily. It's about the rise of men like Andrew Tate and why they're so prevalent and why people need to stop thinking that just by getting rid of these people's ability to say their drivel over the internet, that they're fixing the problem. But before I go on, Andrew Tate, yeah, he's a classic good old misogynist. He's already come out and said shit like, if a woman is sexually assaulted or raped, it was probably her fault, just sort of victim blaming, slut shaming type shit. He's also come out and just said stuff like, having a girlfriend is literally like owning a dog. And I'll leave it there. I will leave it there. I don't think there's not much else I need to say. Any woman that's listening to this, please don't get mad and just cut it off because it's stupid. I understand. I think it's stupid too. But I think that people have to understand one thing when it comes to why there's so many incels, why there's so many misogynistic men, and why it feels like why they're able to get so popular. And that's because that, unfortunately, not every man is going to have it. Well, I'll say this, especially from when I was born. especially from my era, my group of guys, the world hadn't got to the point where it is yet. We were not Gen Z yet, where they're just coming out so liberal and so accepting and so open with everything to where it's almost too damn much. Like, people don't even know how to handle some of it. It was damn near the exact opposite. We were just now starting to be introduced to this stuff. We were just now being introduced to, the portrayal of strong women in media. And I know I'm not saying that the first strong women in media were presented in the early 2000s or 1990s. I'm saying it was not a prevalent thing. It was not pushed for. It was not fought for. It was not really, it wasn't the thing. The Me Too movement, all of this, none of this had happened yet. This was before all of that had occurred and before we had actually started to, understand we don't have to just accept people being shitty towards someone because of anything. It doesn't have to be accepted. It shouldn't be accepted. And I think that people have to understand is that someone like Andrew Tate, he is going to be a byproduct of our society changing like this in such a rapid manner. You cannot go from a country where black people were not allowed to fucking be in the same, sit next to a white person. You can't go from a country like that. That was in the 1960s. Like, literally, right as my mom was born in 1960. Literally, the country was still fucking segregated, y'all. That's the big thing I want people to understand. This country, this idea that things just get fixed. That the second that we just made some type of big, damn near marketing push by the government of, oh no, we embrace equality, inclusiveness, all this other shit. That is not the case. Not everybody does that. That's the thing about America. Everyone has their own freedom of choice, their own freedom of mind. And what comes with that is that a lot of people choose to be fucking ignorant. They choose to just want to exclude. They choose to not want to accept people because of some differences. I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that you need to just accept anyone being gay. You need to accept anyone being trans. That's not my business. If you want to choose to do that, that's on you. How I feel about you because of that choice, that's on me. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. And I almost got away from the main point. The main point is that it's going to take time. It's going to take people having to withstand the pushback to the change. Because Andrew Tate is an example of just that. He's the pushback. When men have to deal with the fact that they are no longer going to just be always seen as above a woman in terms of society hierarchy, when they're not always going to be able to just dominate a woman and just demand what they want from her or get what they want. That is when you have to hold firm and you have to stand strong. Because people like this, we've seen it. Over the past decade, all the changes, all the things that have happened that have been just shifting in the world in terms of the way we view things and what we accept as okay. Some of it is going too far. I ain't going to get into that because that's a whole nother episode. I already had good conversations with my friend Chris about that. Shout out to him. But you have to understand that this shit is just going to come with it. There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be people, because the same way that we see it as people just still trying to hold on to old shit and not just wanting to progress and evolve with society, there are people out there who legitimately see a woman getting paid the same amount as a man, or a gay person loving another gay person, as the world just falling into degeneracy. Satan's alive. Everything's going wrong. This is not the way it should be. This is why the world is fucked up. We have to understand that progress is slow. Progress is by the centimeter. It is not by the inch. It's damn near not by the foot. There's going to be times where it feels like the world is going to just be ending, like, unfortunately, what happened a couple months ago with the abortion Roe versus Wade just being overturned by the Supreme Court. Now it's a state's issue. Now there are states out there that literally are in the process of trying to ban abortion and just trying to take away women's right to choose what the fuck to do with their own body. There are men who are trying to tell women what to do with their own body. It's just the way the world is. We're just going to have to deal with that. We are in, and I say this to all of you. we're in the era of change. We're in the part of the timeline where everything is going from fucked up, at least socially, to getting somewhat better. And it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in just a few years. I've already come to the conclusion that most of the things that I want to see in my lifetime for society, they're not going to happen until I'm dead. I'm going to be worm food in the ground by the time I see racism be somewhat close to it legitimately being true to say it's over. And that's just because at that point I'm starting, and this is just me, I've already saw some type of Time magazine, I think it was Time, a couple years ago, this was a long time ago, about how by the time we get to 2040, 2050, people are going to be blended races. That's going to be a majority of the population on the planet. And you know what? When I first saw it, I thought of it was like, that's such a crazy thing. That's not good. That's horrible. But the more I thought about it, is that a good thing? Is that probably for the best? Because is there's one thing that I've noticed about humans, we find reasons to just beef with each other. We find reasons to have issues. There's always this dumbass reason somebody's going to want to fight. We fight over the dumbest shit, period. We have people still fighting over race. We have people still fighting over someone's right to love who they want to love. We still got black people and my own people fighting over dumb shit. We fighting over fucking corners that's not ours. We fighting over who dressed the best, who's got all this, who got all that. People will find reasons. If you get rid of all, and I'm gonna say this, any white person out there, if you're listening, that really believes in I hope none of my white listeners are racist, but anyone that is, I don't know why you'd be listening to a black man, but just in case, I want you to hear me out. Do you really think the world would be better if you just had nothing but white people in your country? Like even Hitler. If Hitler had fucking succeeded, and I hate to even think of this. I'm sorry, y'all. This is a depressing thought. If this man had succeeded and he had gotten what he wanted, nothing but white people, you know what would have happened? They would have found another reason to fucking fight. Humans will not know peace. It's not in our nature. I hate to be that guy that says some depressing shit like that. It's the truth. We're not going to know peace. There's always going to be some reason to go to war. There's always going to be some dumbass who just doesn't want to have peace in the world. It's just the way things are. Can things be better? Yes. But I think people have to understand the earth has the potential to be heaven. I'm going to sit on that thought. The earth has the potential to be heaven. But it's a lot closer to hell because that's just human nature. We're flawed. We're not perfect. And no one's ever going to be perfect. And there's never going to be that type of worldwide unity unless you literally just got a very small group of people. And that's just the way it is, man. People just fight. They just don't make good choices. They do a lot of dumb shit. And I think that's one thing that I've been having to come to terms with is just, you have to understand that about people. You have to understand you can't get your hopes up for them. You can't expect too much out of this society. You can't expect too much out of this world. I used to be the type that I used to have this dream. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell y'all something about myself that I don't tell everybody. I never looked up to anybody. I never looked up to any human. That's a lie. The only human person, real human being that I ever looked up to is my older brother. And that was because of one thing. My older brother had one thing that he did that showed me that he was actually worth looking up to. Any vice he had, any fucked up shit that he did, he never passed that on to me. And I saw that. I still chose not to try to look up to him too much because, hey, he's a human. He's flawed. He makes mistakes. You know who my role model was growing up? You know who I looked up to? Fucking Goku. That's right. I looked up to the horrible father, the nigga that died a couple times, nigga that let his son get his ass beat. I looked up to that nigga. And you know why I did? Because regardless of how dumb he was, regardless of how much of a horrible fucking father he was, his heart was always in the right place. And he was always going to fight for what was right. He was always going to fight for the good fight. And I think that's That's what's important to me. Fighting a good fight. I don't want to live in a world. I don't want to live in any type of planet where anyone has to feel like they are not free to be able to do what they want. As long as you are not hurting someone, what you eat don't make me shit. What is going on your plate, what you're dealing with, that doesn't have to concern me. If I can't help you, then you know what? I'm just gonna let it play out. I'm going to let you live your life the way you want to live, especially if it's not harming anybody else. And that's what more people have to just accept and just deal with. And because we got people who want to live by God's law. We got people who just want to be against something just because it doesn't make them feel right, because it just feels weird to them. And I think that's what's holding society back. And it's frustrating because we could have flying cars by now, but we still fighting over dumb shit. We could be like the fucking Jetsons, but we still fighting over pronouns. We still fighting over just letting people identify as what they want to identify as. Who the fuck cares if somebody if a nigga want to be a woman, that's not my problem. If a woman want to be a nigga, that's not my problem. I really don't give a fuck. I don't. I want you to think about that. If you have any problem with trans people, why the fuck do you care? Ask yourself that. Why do you care? Are you worried that you're going to fuck one? Because if you're worried about that, you probably need to just start talking to people before you go take them home and try to fuck them. Food for thought, y'all. What I want y'all to take away from this episode: what someone else eats, what the food that is on their plate, it's not going through your stomach. It's not going down your tube. It's not going into your stomach. It's not dissolving in your stomach. It's not going through your intestines. And the shit is not coming out of your ass. It's coming out of theirs. So let that person eat their food. Let them have their meal. Because it's not yours. You don't have to worry about them. We have to support each other and try to love each other. And if you can't do that, leave motherfuckers the fuck alone. That's food for thought. This has been Germ. I appreciate y'all for listening. Yo, Germ here. Just want to tell y'all that if you are looking for some new clothing, looking for some new fresh urban wear, you should go and check out my homeboy's creation, his new brand, Stonerville. It's the hottest urban and weed-related clothing that you're going to find. He's got a whole bunch of fresh hoodies outside right now. He's got a whole bunch of fresh shirts in the works. It's just one of the hottest new companies that I've seen this year, and it's only going up from here. So if you have any type of interest in getting some new fresh urban wear and you want something that's fresh, affordable, and just cool to look at, go check out Stonerville brand. You can go check it out online over at stonervillebrand.com. It's created by my friend Juice God. It is the hottest clothes you can find out on the market right now, the hottest new, fresh, Black-owned business you can find on the market right now. So go check it out. Well, everybody, it's been your boy Germ. I want to say thanks again to all of my listeners, all of anybody that's supporting me out there. You're much appreciated. You keep me going. I know these episodes ain't coming as fast as they used to, but y'all are what keeps me going. Y'all are what keeps me I tell myself every day I need to go home and record, even when I don't. And I've been recording almost every day this week. It's just there's been a lot of shit that it's hard, y'all. It's hard to record some shit and then you don't like it and then you got to just go back and redo it. And I've been feeling like that's been me over the past week. So just everybody out there, thank you for keeping me going. I appreciate everybody that listens in. I appreciate everybody that shows support. And I appreciate everybody just for being you, because as annoying as society is, as annoying as people get to me, I do love y'all. I just want y'all to make sure that y'all know that. So without further ado, make sure you like, comment, follow, subscribe, whatever the fuck your streaming platform allows you to do it. Support me, acknowledge me, share me on your damn social media. Do it! But this has been Germ. This has been Kinetic Aesthetic. I want to say thank you again to everybody. I will have another episode coming for you all on Sunday. And until then, have a great rest of your days.